In today's world, most people think the louder you are, the smarter you seem. Everyone wants to talk. Everyone wants to prove they know something. In every room, there's a competition going on who can speak the most, sound the smartest, impress the crowd. But here's the twist. Every extra word you say can become a weakness. Watch closely next time you're in a group. The person who says the least often has the most presence. When they finally speak, people listen because their silence gave weight to their words. We live in a world where silence is mistaken for weakness. But in reality, silence is a power move. If Machiavelli were alive today, he'd probably say, "Power now belongs to the one who says less, not more. The one who lets others guess instead of giving everything away." So why do we run from silence? Because silence makes people uncomfortable. At a family dinner, if there's even a second of silence, someone rushes to fill it. On text, if we don't get a reply, we send 5 more messages. Why? Because we're afraid of being judged, afraid of being misunderstood, afraid of not being enough. But guess what? Smart people use that fear to control the room. When you stay quiet, other people feel the pressure to talk. And in that moment, you hold the power. Let's look at a few examples of how silence becomes strength. 1. In relationships. Think about it. Someone argues with you, and what do? You rush to explain, defend, justify. But that shows anxiety. It shows fear of losing them. Now imagine you stay calm, silent. Suddenly they start asking, "Are you okay? Why aren't you saying anything?" Now they're uncomfortable. Now you're in control. Even in romantic relationships, it works. They reply late and most people lose it. They start complaining, over-explaining. But the person who stays silent, instantly more attractive. Why? Because silence says, "I have my own life. I don't need to chase." 2. In work and negotiations. Imagine 2 people negotiating a salary. The first one talks too fast. "Okay, I'll accept that. Just please give me the position." The second one just looks and stays quiet. The silence forces the other side to talk more, offer more, just to break the tension. Silence creates pressure, and pressure reveals truth. Even in a job interview, the person who pauses before answering seems more confident, more thoughtful, more professional. 3. On social media, someone leaves a rude comment under your post. If you reply, you've already lost. You're playing their game. But if you say nothing, your silence says, "I'm too important to reply to nonsense." And that stings more than any comeback. 4. In social groups. In a group of friends, the one who talks less is always the most intriguing. People wonder, what are they thinking? There's mystery, and mystery equals power. But the person who reveals everything, all the time, easy to figure out, easy to judge, no edge, no curiosity. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. Silence is the ultimate weapon. Let's go deeper. 1. Silence makes people build stories about you. Here's a psychological truth. The human brain hates not knowing, so it fills the gaps. When you stay silent, people start imagining. They make you bigger than you are. You don't talk much. They assume you must know something they don't. You reply late to a message. They assume you're busy, important, in demand. You don't react in an argument. They assume you're calm, in control, maybe even dangerous. And none of it has to be true. But the story they build about you, that's power. 2. In love, silence is a weapon. Few know how to use it. People crave answers, crave certainty. But the more predictable you are, the less attractive you become. Silence adds a layer of mystery. Someone says, "What are you thinking?" You don't fully answer. You let them wonder. There's a disargument. You don't rush to explain. You let them sit with the tension. Machiavelli would tell you, never let them know you completely. Once they do, they stop trying. 3. Silence leads to information, and information is power. Here's the secret. When you stay silent, others reveal more just to kill the silence. In negotiations, ask a question and say nothing. Watch how they start adding more details, better offers, just to make the silence go away. Some of the best negotiators in the world do this. They win not by talking, but by listening, waiting and letting others fill the gap. So next time you feel the urge to talk too much, explain too fast, or overreact, stop. Let your silence speak. Because in a world obsessed with noise, being silent is the loudest thing you can do. 5. In friendly debates, you win by listening. Ever been in one of those casual arguments with friends where everyone's trying to prove they're right? The more they talk, the more they expose their thought patterns, their insecurities, their logical gaps. Meanwhile, you just sit back, stay quiet, observe, and learn. Psychologists have a term for this: active silence. It's when you stay silent on purpose, not because you have nothing to say, but because silence makes others talk more. And when people talk too much, they give themselves away. You don't have to do anything. Just be still and let the truth reveal itself. 6. Silence makes you sexier. Yes, really. Here's something most people don't realize. We are drawn to mystery. People naturally feel more attracted to what they don't fully understand or can't easily reach. The person who overshares in every conversation tells their whole life story in 5 minutes. They become predictable, easy to label, easy to forget. But the one who says little, they become a puzzle, a mystery, and the human brain can't resist a puzzle. Even psychology studies show people who reveal less are seen as more attractive and more confident, especially in first impressions. So next time, don't rush to explain everything about yourself. Let them wonder a little. 7. Silence protects your reputation during anger. How many times have you said something in anger and then regretted it 5 minutes later? Silence is your shield. When you're angry and you say nothing, you stay powerful. Why? Because they can't tell how angry you actually are. Because you buy yourself time to think before you speak. Because you protect your image from emotional damage. Machiavelli once said men are destroyed not by their enemies, but by their own emotions. And that still holds true today. 8. In the age of social media, silence is a luxury. We live in a time where people post everything, every meal, every mood, every moment. It's like oversharing has become the norm. So what happens when you don't play that game? When you post less, share less, react less, you suddenly seem more rare, more valuable, more private. You become someone people are curious about, because the less you reveal, the more people want to know. 9. Silence creates mind games in a good way. Want to really get into someone's head? Say something meaningful and then stop. Let your words hang in the air. No follow-up, no explanation. The silence that follows forces them to reply what you just said over and over in their mind. They'll start asking themselves, what did they mean by that? Were they serious? Is there more to the story? You don't need to say more. They'll do all the work for you. 10. Silence buys time and exposes mistakes. Silence gives you time to think, but it also creates pressure for others. And under pressure, people rush. And when people rush, they slip up. Machiavelli said, nothing destroys power like impatience. And he was right. The impatient person always loses. The calm, silent one, they win not by fighting, but by waiting. So what's the takeaway? Silence isn't emptiness. It's not weakness. It's strategy. It's power. its presence. In a world that's constantly talking, the one who knows when to say nothing is the one they remember the most. Thank you for staying with me until the end of the video. If you liked this video, please subscribe to the channel and tell me your opinion in the comments.